Hello students, so let's start with the data link layer next property, which is nothing but the collision avoidance property. Under that we are going to learn about two protocols, a CSMA-CA and CSMA-CD protocol. So CSMA full form is Carrier Sense Multiple Access and CA is nothing but the collision avoidance. To avoid the collision in the network protocol, we use this CSMA-CA protocol. With this, it's basically a transmission that operates in the MAC layer. Second thing is that it prevents the collision prior to their occurrence. Before happening collision, it detects that collision. So let's have discussed an actual algorithm of CSMA-CA. When a frame is ready, the transmission station checks whether the channel is idle or busy. When sender wants to send a data from sender to receiver side, he just checked or algorithm is checked whether channel is idle or busy. If the channel is idle, then and then only the data frames are sent from sender to receiver side. Second thing, if the channel is busy, the station waits until the channel become idle. Third step is if the channel is idle, the station waits for the interframe gaps amount of time and then send the frames. It is very much important to find out the interframe gap, because if the another channel wants to send a data or starts to send a data from that channel, then collision could not be happen. For that, you just check whether that amount of time is valid to send the data or not. Next is after that he just or channel just set the timer before sending the frames. The effectiveness of the timer is that the station when waits for the acknowledgement from the receiver side, he just understand that with the timer that data is properly sent to the receiver side. If and the acknowledgement is given by the receiver to understand a sender that he receives all the frame properly. So two things is very important in this algorithm. First is timer. Timer helps us to understand that frames are properly gone to the receiver side, and receiver gives the acknowledgement to assurance that all frames are received by me. And the next thing is they just if the timer is off or timer is complete but still the acknowledgement is not received by the sender, then sender understand that he has to give the back off time period for restart the algorithm. So you understand it is a simplest and easiest algorithm which is nothing but the CSMA-CA. CSMA-CA is carrier sense multiple access with the collision avoidance. Second thing, it channel just find whether the channel is idle or busy. In this algorithm, if the channel is busy, then he just waits to send the data. If the channel is idle, then he waits for the IFG to get the or to send the next frame. Third thing that he just set the timer. Timer help us to understand that data is received properly in timely manner to the receiver side. And second thing, in the receiver side, he just gives the acknowledgement to the sender that I received all the frames. And third thing important is backup period, time period. It helps us it helps us sender that if the given time, the data should not be received or acknowledgement should not be received by the sender, then he just restart that algorithm. So let's today we learn the CSMSCA. So now we understand advantages and disadvantages of CSMSCA. So CSMSCA prevents the collision. Due to the acknowledgements, data is not lost unnecessarily. These are the advantages of CSMA3. That it just prevents the collision, and second thing, it just gives the acknowledgement, so the receiver can't lose the unnecessarily data. Third thing, it avoids wasteful transmission. It just avoid the wasteful transmission because it just find out the channel is idle or busy. Fourth thing is it is very much suited for the wireless transmission. For the wireless transmission, it is CSMA-CA is the best option to use. These are the advantages of CSMA-CA. Next is disadvantages of CSMA-CA. The algorithm calls for the long waiting time. Obviously it calls a long waiting time for if multiple channels wants to send the data, they cannot send data in a parallel manner. He just has to wait for transmission of one channel to complete. After that, the next channel can start their transmission of data. So it is a drawback that it should have a long waiting time. And the second thing is it has high power consumption. Obviously, if the all channels are ready to send and it consumes the light, but if they can't send, then the power consumption should be much more. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of CSMA CA. So today we are going to we are learned today we are learned a CSMA CA algorithm. So let's conclude today's lecture on CSMA CA. CSMA CA is a career sense multiple access collision avoidance algorithm. It helps us. It is basically a network protocol. It helps us to prevent the collision prior to their occurrence in the channel or transmission medium while transmitting the sender to the receiver side or data. Basic and actual algorithm of CSMA-CA is just finds the before transmission of data, he just find whether the channel is idle or busy. If the channel is busy, he just wait until the channel become idle. Second thing, if the channel is idle, then he just waits for the IFG amount of time and send the frame after that. Next thing, he sets the timer. Fourth thing, the station then waits for the acknowledgement from the receiver side. After he finds that the channel become idle, he just sends the data from sender to receiver side and receiver gives the acknowledgement to the received data. But if the timer is expired and still the sender could not get the acknowledgement, then he just find out then some data could not be received by the receiver side, so he just add the back of time period for restart the algorithm. This is nothing but the CSMA-CA algorithm. This diagram which shows you the proper algorithm or proper flow of the algorithm. Next thing that we learn today is advantages and disadvantages of CSMA-CA. That advantages is prevents the collision, data is lost unnecessarily, not losted unnecessarily, then it avoids the wasteful transmission, and next much suited for the wireless transmission. Disadvantages are long waiting time, and next is high power consumption. So it is nothing but the CSMA way. So I hope you all understand, and if you have any queries then feel free to ask me. Thank you.